Hello friends, today's topic of our lecture is life cycle pattern of adiantum. According to our syllabus, the detailed life history or detailed life account is of adiantum is not included. Just a life cycle pattern of adiantum of one lecture weightage is given in the syllabus. So we just overlook the highlights in the life cycle of the adiantum. So life cycle pattern of adiantum. The classification means systematic position of the adiantum. It is belong to division Pteridophyta, class Pteropsida, order Filicales, family Adiantaceae, and genus Adiantum. Okay, division Pteridophyta, class Pteropsida, order Filicales, family Adiantaceae, and genus Adiantum. This is the systematic position of the Adiantum. Number 1, it is the largest genus comprising of some 200 species. This is one of the largest genus containing 200 species. This genus is represented in India by 10 species. From that 200 species, 10 species are occurred in India. Number 3, the common name of adiantum is maiden hair fern. Maiden hair fern is the common name of the adiantum fern. Number 4, species of adiantum occur in a variety of habitats. Okay, but they are most abundant in moist and shady places. Okay, they can grow on variety of habitats, but this adiantum prefers the moist and shady conditions. Number 5, they occur on wet walls, means moist walls, and shady rock crevices. They can easily occur on the moist walls, wet walls, and shady rock crevices. Then several species of adiantum are commonly grown in gardens as ornamentals. Ornamentals means decorative plants. These adiantums are easily occurs in the public gardens as ornamental plants. Okay. Then sporophytic plant body. Sporophytic plant body means spore producing plant body is called as the sporophytic plant body. Here photograph of the plant body is given. There is a underground rhizome. Rhizome produces the roots toward the soil or toward the substratum, and these roots are the adventitious roots. Okay, then rhizome is there. Rhizome is nothing but the underground stem like structure. Okay, above the rhizome, the aerial structure is the rachis. Okay, rachis is nothing but the centrally located axis of the leaflets, and rachis is further covered by the many small leaves. They are called as the leaflet. Okay, they are also called as pinni or pinnule, and on the dorsal side of the leaves or pinni or leaflets, sori are present. Sorus singular, sori plural. Okay, so in this way, this is the entire plant body of the adiantum. Underground rhizome. Rhizome produces the adventitious roots. Aerial rachis is there. Rachis act as a central stand of the leaves, or rachis its work as a stem. Okay, actually it is not stem. It is a rachis or centrally located axis of the leaves. Okay, see the description. The sporophyte is differentiated into rhizome, roots, and leaves. Okay. The number 2, the rhizome is usually subterranean. Subterranean means it is present below the soil surface, and creeping. It is creeping in the substratum. It is perennial. Perennial means it can grow more than 2-3 years. Such plant is called as the perennial plant. The rhizome is perennial. Then dichotomously branched. It always shows the dichotomous branching. Okay, and covered with persistent leaf bases. लीप बेसिस मीन्स लीप स्कार्स. स्कार म्हणजे वन, त्याला आपण व्रण म्हणतो, पण मराठीत बोलताना आपण त्याला वन म्हणतो, स्पॉट त्याचा. ओके, तिथली खून जिथं पूर्वी लीव्ज अटॅच होते. अँड कवर्स विथ परसिस्टंट लीफ बेसेस. ओके, अँड हेरी आउटग्रोथ called as the ramenta, and the ramenta is covered by the rhizome. Okay, and rhizome is nothing but the hairy outgrowth. It bears leaves on the upper side and roots on the lower side. Toward the upper side of the rhizome, many leaves are there, and toward the lower side, many roots are produced. Number 3, roots are small, adventitious type and wiry structures. They are small and wire-like structures. They form a mass around the subterranean rhizome, and they form the mass around the rhizome. Number 4, the leaves or fronds are pinnately compound. They are small and compound in nature. They are simple unipinnate, bipinnate or 3 to 4 pinnate. The leaves are the entire small rachis along with leaflets is called as the single leaf, and single leaf is the bipinnate or unipinnate or 3 to 4 pinnate. The pinni means small leaflets. They are look in green color. The pinni are alternate or opposite. Okay, this is the arrangement of pinni or leaflets. The rachis is smooth. The rachis is the centrally located axis of the leaves. Rachis is smooth and its length varies from 3 to 40 centimeter in different species. According to species, the length of the rachis is differ. The leaves bears marginal sori. Toward the margin of the leaves, many sori are developed. You see in the diagram, at the tip of the leaves, at the margin of the leaves, the sori are developed, and these sori are nothing but the group of the sporangia, and sporangia produces the spores. Then reproduction in the adiantum. You see in the first photograph, the small leaves are given or leaflets are there, and leaflets contain or pinni contain many sori toward the dorsal side. Okay, that brown colored structures are nothing but the sori, and sori contain many sporangia, and sporangia is nothing but the bag of the spores, and when sporangia ruptures, spores are liberated from the sporangium. You see in the second photograph, A diagram is the diagram of the matured sporangium, second diagram is the rupturing sporangium, and third diagram is totally ruptured sporangium and spores are liberated. Okay, reproduction. Point number 1. In adiantum, reproduction takes place mainly by spores. Okay, this in adiantum, main reproduction takes place by spores, which are produced in large numbers within sporangia, and the spores are developed within the sporangia. The sporangia form sori, and many sporangia form the single compact structure called as the sorus, and plural sori. Okay, the sporangia form sori close to the margin on the dorsal side. Okay, toward the margin of the leaves on dorsal side the sori are present. Okay, in the matured pinni. And see in the bracket, the leaves bearing sporangia or sori are known as the sporophylls, and these green colored leaves in the photographs, they are nothing but the sporophylls. Why these leaves are called as sporophylls? Because these leaves having the spore producing structure sori or sporangia, so that these leaves are called as the sporophylls. Number 3. The mature sporangium has 2 to 3 cells thick. Mature sporangium is the 2 to 3 cells thick and a spherical or elliptical head or capsule. You see in the second black and white photograph, a structure is nothing but the matured sporangium. Okay, Number 4. The capsule wall is only one cell thick. You see in A diagram, the capsule wall is single celled or single cell in thickening. Number 5. A vertical row of 10 to 20 cells in the capsule wall develops thick walls and they form the annulus. Okay, the capsule wall is there, sporangium wall is there, and so sporangium wall contains vertically arranged 10 to 20 cells. Okay, and they develops form and they form annulus. You see in the diagram, in B diagram, annulus is mentioned at the tip, and that annulus is nothing but the coating or wall of the sporangium. Okay, number 6. The stomium is represented by 2 to 6 thin walled cells present at the distal end of the annulus, and at the distal end, in the you see in the diagram number A, the stomium is given. Okay, and this stomium is 2 to with 2 to 6 thin walled cells. The stomium is made by 2 to 6 thin walled cell. You see in the diagram, in A diagram, the wall of the sporangium is there, and the wall of the sporangium is made by the 10 to 12 cells, and they form the annulus, and toward the distal end of the annulus, the stomium is there, and stomium is made by 2 to 6 thin walled cells. Okay. See point number 6. This arrangement of cells permits to easy splitting when sporangium dehisces. Dehisces means breaking. This arrangement of the stomium is useful for the dehiscence of the sporangium, for dispersion of the spores. Okay, or easy splitting of the sporangium. Okay, so in this way, this is the function of stomium. Then number 7, spores are homosporous. Homospores means all spores are similar in structure. So adiantum is homosporous. Why homosporous? Because single type of spores present in the life cycle of the adiantum. Point number 8. The spores are haploid, uninucleate and bilateral. So this is the characteristics. Each spore is the haploid and uninucleate. Number 9. The spore wall is differentiated into an outer thick and ornamented exine and inner intine. The spore wall is the bilayered or biwalled, and outer wall is the thick and ornamented, called as the exine, and inner wall is the thin, and which is the intine. So in this way, this is about the characteristic of the sporangia. The parts of the matured sporangium is the annulus, then stomium is, then sporangium is small stalked. Okay, and this stomium is useful for dispersion of the rupturing of the sporangium, and after rupturing of the sporangium, spores are homosporous or homospores. All spores are similar in size, structure, shape, and these spores are liberated or come outside from the sporangium. So in this way, this is the reproduction caused by the spores in the adiantum. Then gametophyte means gametophytic plant body. Gametophytic plant body means it is also called as prothallus. Why it is gametophytic plant body? Because it produces the male and female gametangia, antheridium and the archegonium. And this antheridium archegonium involved in the sexual reproduction, and sperm released from the antheridium and the egg present in the sperm released by the antheridium and egg present in the archegonium fuses, and fertilization is over, and diploid zygotic condition is formed. Diploid zygote form the embryo, and embryo at maturity produces the sporophytic plant body of the adiantum. Okay, see point number 1. On germination of haploid spore gives rise to a heart-shaped prothallus. When homospores or spores come outside from the sporangium, when they settle down on the suitable substratum, when they absorb the moisture, they start germination, and it produces the prothallus, which is the gametophytic plant body. Number 2, the prothallus means gametophytic plant body. The prothallus of adiantum is monoecious. Monoecious means what? The antheridia, male reproductive organs, and archegonia, female reproductive organs, both are developed on the single prothallus, single gametophytic plant body. So prothallus of adiantum is the monoecious and bear both antheridia and archegonia. Number 3, the antheridium is oval. Oval means egg-like or circular. Antheridium is, structure of the antheridium is oval or the circular, covered by sterile jacket layer. Further, this antheridium is covered by sterile jacket layer. Antheridium contain androcytes. The antheridium is always made by the androcytes. They are called as the androgonal cells or sperm mother cells. And androcytes metamorphosis into multiflagellate antherozoids. Okay, and these androcytes means sperm mother cells produces the many multiflagellated antherozoids or sperms or spermatozoids. They are also called as male gametes. Number 4, archegonium has a small neck and swollen base. Archegonium is the small neck and swollen base. Neck contains neck cells. Neck of the archegonium contains the neck cells. The swollen basal part of the archegonium, the basal part is swollen, and that swollen part having the venter canal cell. There is a single venter canal cell, and at the base of the venter there is a egg. Egg contains the haploid female nucleus, which is the female gamete, and sperm contain haploid male nucleus, which is male gamete. Okay. Number 5, just before fertilization, the neck canal cell and venter canal cell degenerate to form a mucilaginous mass which attracts sperms chemotactically. Okay, at the time of fertilization, before the fertilization, the neck canal cell, venter canal cell, they are disappear due to their degeneration, and mucilaginous mass is formed. Mucilaginous mass come outside from the mouth of the archegonium, and they attract the sperms. Okay. Then point number 6, although many antherozoids enter into the archegonium, but only one of them fuses with egg to form a diploid zygote. Many sperms are attracted toward the archegonium. They are entered in the archegonium, but only one sperm is fuses with the egg and form the diploid zygote. Number 7, the diploid zygote is the mother cell of sporophytic generation, and this diploid zygote is the mother cell of the sporophytic generation. Okay. Number 8, in further developmental stages, a zygote form the multicellular embryo. In further developmental changes, the zygote goes in the cell division and form the multicellular embryo. Okay, and multicellular embryo produces the new individual plant body of the adiantum. Okay, so in this way, the spore germinates, prothallus form, prothallus produces antheridia, archegonia, antheridium produces the sperm, then archegonium having the egg, fusion of sperm and egg takes place, diploid zygote is formed, zygote causes the embryo, and embryo causes the new sporophytic plant body of the adiantum. Now this is the alternation of generation in adiantum. Okay, you see at the tip adiantum sporophytic plant body is there. That sporophytic plant body is the diploid plant body, long-lived plant body, green plant body made by underground rhizome, then roots and aerial leaves. Okay, and this adiantum produces the sori to the dorsal side of the leaves toward the margin of the leaves. Okay, and this sori contain the many sporangia. Okay, and this sori contain the many sporangia, and sporangium contain the spore mother cells. They are basically diploid in nature, and these spore mother cells goes in the reduction division meiosis. In this way, many haploid spores are developed in the sporangium. Okay, at maturity of the sporangium, it will ruptures and spores are released from the sporangium, and these spores are dispersing through different vectors. When they settle down on the suitable substratum under favorable condition, they start germination. After the germination of the spores, the prothallus means gametophytic plant body is develops. Okay, the gametophytic plant body produces, it is a monoecious plant body, so that it produces antheridium as well as the archegonium on the single prothallus. Antheridium produces the antherozoids or sperms having the male nucleus, and sperms are multiflagellated motile structures, and archegonium at the base having the egg, which is the female gamete, which is the non-motile containing the single female nucleus. Okay, so sperm or antherozoid and egg fuses and diploid zygotic condition is formed. It is also called as the oospore. So zygote goes in the now diploid structure, again diploid condition is develops in the life cycle pattern of the adentum. This diploid zygote or oospore goes in the embryo formation, and multicellular embryo is formed, which is the conspicuous or very small in nature, and this embryo causes the new sporophytic plant body of the adiantum. So in this way, this is the alternation of generation in the adiantum life cycle. Now this is the reference textbook of botany, diversity of microbes and cryptogams, written by Professor Singh, Professor Pandey and Professor Jain. This book I have used while preparing my PowerPoint presentation.